1. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream. Delivered during the 1963 March on Washington, Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned a future where racial equality prevails. His dream for a better, more inclusive America resonated deeply and inspired the civil rights movement. 2. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. In 1863, at the dedication of the Gettysburg battlefield, Lincoln honored fallen soldiers and redefined the Civil War as a struggle for freedom and equality. His brief but powerful words emphasized national unity and democracy. 3. Winston Churchill's We Shall Fight on the Beaches. In 1940, as Britain faced the threat of Nazi invasion, Churchill's speech rallied the British people with its defiant message of resistance and determination to fight on land, sea, and air, no matter the cost. John F. Kennedy's inaugural address. In 1961, Kennedy's call to action, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," inspired a sense of duty and collective effort to face global challenges, including the Cold War. 5. Franklin D. Roosevelt's infamy speech. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, Roosevelt's address to Congress declared December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. His speech united America in its resolve to enter World War II. 6. Nelson Mandela's I Am Prepared to Die. In 1964, during his trial, Mandela's speech outlined his vision for a democratic South Africa and his willingness to sacrifice his life for its realization. It became a cornerstone of the anti-apartheid movement. 7. Mahatma Gandhi's Quit India. In 1942, Gandhi demanded an end to British rule in India with his Do or Die speech. This call for nonviolent resistance galvanized the Indian independence movement, leading to freedom in 1947. Sojourner Truth's Ain't I a Woman? In 1851, at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention, Sojourner Truth's powerful speech challenged prevailing notions of racial and gender inferiority, asserting the strength and rights of Black women. 9. Elizabeth I's speech to the troops at Tilbury. In 1588, facing the threat of the Spanish Armada, Queen Elizabeth I's speech bolstered her troops' morale with her pledge to fight alongside them and her declaration of unwavering commitment to England's defense. 10. Susan B. Anthony's Women's Rights to the Suffrage. In 1873, after being arrested for voting, Susan B. Anthony argued for women's suffrage. Her speech highlighted the injustice of denying women the vote and was pivotal in the fight for women's rights in America. 11. Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. In 1775, Henry's impassioned plea for armed resistance against British tyranny became a rallying cry for American independence, emphasizing the importance of liberty over life itself. 13. Malala Yousafzai's United Nations speech. In 2013, Malala addressed the UN on her 16th birthday, advocating for girls' education worldwide. Her speech underscored the power of education and her unwavering commitment despite surviving a Taliban assassination attempt. 14. Emmeline Pankhurst's Freedom or Death. In 1913, Pankhurst's speech highlighted the lengths to which suffragettes were willing to go for women's voting rights in Britain. Her militant rhetoric underscored the urgency and determination of the suffrage movement. 15. Ronald Reagan's Tear Down This Wall. In 1987, at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, Reagan challenged Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to dismantle the Berlin Wall, symbolizing the call for greater freedom in Eastern Europe and the end of the Cold War. 16. Theodore Roosevelt's Citizenship in a Republic. In 1910, Roosevelt delivered this speech in Paris, emphasizing the importance of active and responsible citizenship. His famous line, "The man in the arena," highlights the value of effort and perseverance. 17. Pericles' funeral oration. In 431 BCE, Pericles honored Athenian soldiers who died in the Peloponnesian War. His speech celebrated democracy, patriotism, and the Athenian way of life, inspiring future generations. 18. Socrates' apology. In 399 BCE, Socrates defended his philosophy and way of life during his trial. His speech focused on the pursuit of truth and virtue, ultimately leading to his condemnation and execution. 19. George Washington's farewell address. In 1796, Washington advised the nation on future conduct, warning against political parties and foreign alliances. His farewell set a precedent for future presidents and emphasized unity and independence. 20. William Wilberforce's abolition speech. In 1789, Wilberforce passionately argued against the transatlantic slave trade in the British Parliament. His speech was instrumental in the eventual abolition of the trade in 1807. 21. Lou Gehrig's farewell to baseball. In 1939, baseball legend Lou Gehrig delivered his heartfelt farewell at Yankee Stadium, expressing gratitude despite his ALS diagnosis. His words, "I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth," remain iconic. 22. Chief Joseph's surrender speech. In 1877, after a long struggle to resist U.S. forces, Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce tribe surrendered. His poignant speech, "I will fight no more forever," highlighted the suffering of his people. 23. Frederick Douglass's "What to the Slave is the 4th of July." In 1852, Douglass criticized the hypocrisy of a nation celebrating freedom while enslaving millions. His speech remains a powerful critique of American slavery and a call for justice. 24. Margaret Thatcher's "The Lady's Not for Turning." In 1980, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher reaffirmed her commitment to conservative economic policies. Her defiant speech symbolized her steadfastness and earned her the nickname Iron Lady. 25. Queen Elizabeth II's COVID-19 address. In 2020, amidst the global pandemic, Queen Elizabeth II delivered a rare address to the nation. Her message of unity, resilience, and hope reassured the British public during a time of crisis. 26. Earl Spencer's eulogy for Princess Diana. In 1997, Earl Spencer paid tribute to his sister, Princess Diana, at her funeral. His heartfelt eulogy celebrated her life and criticized the media's role in her tragic death. 27. Elie Wiesel's The Perils of Indifference. In 1999, Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel spoke at the White House, warning against indifference to suffering and injustice. His speech emphasized the moral duty to act against oppression. 28. Steve Jobs' Stanford Commencement Address. In 2005, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs shared personal stories of failure and success with Stanford graduates. His advice to stay hungry, stay foolish inspired many to pursue their passions. 29. Richard Nixon's resignation speech. In 1974, facing impeachment over the Watergate scandal, President Nixon resigned. His speech marked the end of his presidency and a significant moment in American political history. 30. Jawaharlal Nehru's Tryst with Destiny. In 1947, on the eve of India's independence, Nehru addressed the nation. His speech celebrated the end of British rule and the dawn of a new era, emphasizing unity and progress.